Alright, so today we're going to be working on a 2006 Honda Element LX. We have a couple of videos on this car already. One we replaced the stereo system, and in another video we replaced the radiator fans. But today we're going to be working on the window regulator. Has broken inside and the window no longer goes up and down. You can hear the motor running, so the motor's probably fine, but usually it's just easier to replace both the window motor and the window regulator at the same time. So that's what we'll be doing today. So to start off with, first we're going to have to take off this door panel here, and behind that is a large metal piece that we're going to have to work around to get the window regulator and motor assembly out. But one might not normally think of this job as a simple do-it-yourself video. You might easily just take it to a shop to get it done, but really this is a very simple job to do yourself. We got the window motor regulator assembly from Auto Parts Direct to You. They're a good company and good parts. So first off, we're going to have to get rid of some of the screws and bolts that are holding this panel in place. There's one or a couple right here behind the door handle. There's one right here, and I think apart from the and we'll have to take out the speaker and unscrew the speaker. And other than that, I think that's pretty much it, but we'll see as we go along. So first off, I'm going to open this little panel here, and the basic tools that you'll need for this job are pretty simple. Just to take off this door panel, all you'll need is a screwdriver, Phillips, and a flathead screwdriver to kind of just pry open some of these little panels to get to the bolts. So let's get started, and we'll just take this panel right here off. Alright, and you can see the little panel there, so I'm just going to stick my screwdriver in there and just kind of pry down on it. It's pretty simple, just pries right out. And then we'll need the screwdriver, and as you can see, there's two bolts right here and right there, so just take those out. And just find a place to put these screws so you don't lose them. I'm just going to set them here in the cab of the car. And so at this point you could pull out this door handle and then unhook the power from it. But what I'm going to do is just finish loosening everything up, and then we'll just poke it through the hole, and so we don't have to worry about plugging this part of it back in. So now we're going to get this other screw that's right down here, and I'll show that to you in a second. Okay, you can see the panel right here, and you just take your screwdriver and pry that open. Okay, there we go. So it just opens like that, and there's a screw inside there. I'm gonna just take that off. And go ahead and put this someplace safe. Okay, now we have to take off this panel in front of the speaker right here. So basically just get your fingers behind it and give it just a little bit of force. These clips will just it just tells on me these clips, so you just pull it apart. And so now just remove these screws right here, detach the speaker from the door. Okay, now the speakers just come right out. There's these little, let me show you. There's this little tab here that kind of helps hold it in when the bolts aren't holding it. So just lift it up and pull it that hole. And now we have just a little clip here, so it just squeeze on the sides here, and it should just pull right out, just like that. So I'll just set that to the side. Okay, now we have this corner panel, and that corner panel will take off, and that will free us to lift this door handle up over the lip of the window frame. So basically just grab onto the corner panel here and just pry up on the points, and this one you want to kind of lift it this way because that's just the way the clips are. And you might want to get a look behind it, see what's holding it. There's a little clip right here, so just once you've lifted it up this way enough to get past those plastic clips, then you just need to pull it out. You might want to get a screwdriver just to get a little more leverage in there, just like that. And so just set this off to the side. This one here is a lot easier. You just pry it right off, and it just has a few little clips holding it in. So at this point it's pretty simple. All that's holding this door in is a few clips around the edges. So basically all you have to do is get your fingers in and just pop those clips off. This side is already pretty loose, so it's not stamped in all the way. So just go around the edges, and it should just snap open as you go around. This door is pretty loose already. So, there. And as you can see, it's just hanging on by the top here. And so now you just have to worry about this door lock. Just get it over that door lock, and we'll push this through the hole, and it'll just come right loose. There's some electrical wires on the inside that have to unplug, and I'll show that to you in a second. So just lift this up. And we'll push this thing through this hole like so. So it's out of the way. Just like that. And let me move the camera so you can see these wires in the back. Okay, as you can see, there's a couple wires here running to what is the window switches and the mirror switches and such. So it's just the same as pretty similar to the speaker wire. So just find the mechanism to which they release and remove those. And it looks like these are not really held in by anything other than friction. So okay, so this last white one here was just held on by a little tab thing. So just to take this one out, just push that tab in and pull it out. So now we have gotten to the vapor barrier here. All you have to do on this corner, it's held in by a little tab over the tab, and then when we want to put it back in, we'll just pull this tab out and slide it back in. And so for this part, it looks like somebody's already been in here. This is pretty loose already. It's not, I don't know what's wrong here. Basically, I would recommend getting a razor blade, or a box cutter even, and just slicing along this rubber thing to remove this vapor barrier. So let me get that. Alright, so I didn't completely remove the vapor barrier, just enough to access the bolts that we need to get to. These two bolts here hold in the window regulator, and then there's 3 bolts over here that hold in the window motor. With these 3 bolts, you don't have to completely unscrew them, just loosen them up, and then you can just slide them into these larger holes and then push it through. Okay, before I start, let me explain kind of what's happening right here. Normally, we would lift this window up and so that we could access the bolts that are holding the window to the regulator. But as you can see, this window is stuck and will not go up all the way. And so I can't exactly say what's causing that, but there's a wire at the bottom holding it down, giving it tension, and the window switch will not give it enough slack right now, so I can't lift it up enough to reach that bolt. So by disconnecting the window regulator, that will give us a little more wiggle room to remove the window. So let's go ahead and remove the window regulator now. Okay, and when you remove that last bolt, the window and the regulator are connected, so it will drop down a little bit, so you just have to be careful. So now let's see if we can move this up enough, or move it into a, there we go, yes. So now if I lift this up enough, there's two bolts, one right here and one right there. I don't know if you can see those, but so we need to remove those now to disconnect the regulator from the glass. So I'm going to just set this down right here and get my ratchet. So now we're just gonna take those two bolts off and then remove the window from the regulator. Okay, so now the window is not connected to the regulator, so you definitely don't want the window to drop. So just grab the window and you'll want to lift it up in place, and then find a wedge or something, tape the window up to just make sure it doesn't fall down while you're working on the regulator and the motor. Okay, as you can see, I have the window taped up now and it's not going anywhere. So now we need to remove the window motor, and then we can pull both the regulator and the motor out as one unit. The first thing we need to do, I upgraded my ratchet, a little bit overkill, but better than the last one. So now we just need to remove these three bolts right here, and the window motor will be free. Okay, and remember, you don't have to take these bolts off all the way, just to loosen them enough to move the motor up to the larger holes and just push it through. Well, that's what we'll do now. So just move these three bolts to this hole here, and it should fall through to the inside. So now what you want to do is reach in through here and grab the window regulator and just pull it through this hole. Just work it however you can. It doesn't really matter, it's broken. So just there's the window regulator. Over here is the power cord for the window motor. So just disconnect this. To remove this power cord, it's helpful just to push in the tab and just pry it off. There we go, just like that. So pry the bottom part off. This top part is apparently connected. So just disconnect that from the clip there and push it through. Okay, so the power cord is also connected with a few clips. So just push those clips through the hole. And with those clips disconnected, it should finally be free. Alright, so here's the new window motor and regulator. from Auto Parts Direct to You, APDTY.com. And it looks good, so we'll go ahead and install it into the car. Basically, it goes in the same way it came out. So the first thing we're gonna do, let's see. The first thing we're gonna do is put the window motor in first. So, and it looks like it does not come with new bolts. So just remove the bolts from your old motor and screw them in here before. We're gonna screw them in here before we put them back into the vehicle, and then we can just slide them in here and then tighten them down. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I've got the bolts into the motor now, and I'm just gonna slide it in there and hook it into those holes. So just go ahead and start by putting the motor in. And actually probably should get the top of the regulator in first, and then the motor. And I'll slide the rest of that in there. So now we need to move. There we go. Now we can move the motor over to that hole, like so. And you can see we got the bolts. Oh, missing one. There. And see, the bolts just slide on there, and then we can tighten them up. Make sure your window regulator holes line up while the motor's in there, otherwise you might have it in wrong, but everything lines up nicely. So I'll just set the regulator down, and we'll get those bolts tightened up. The motor's in there, and now this is that cable that needs to go here. So just feed it over to this hole, and then I will connect it. Okay, now this window regulator came with a new clip, but I'm not going to bother removing the old one. It looks fine, so I'm just going to remove the new one from here and snap it onto the original one. So it goes from the bottom and slides up just like that, and then plug this one into that one there, just like that. And nice secure connection. And let's go ahead and put the window regulator in. First, line up the holes, just like so. And screw, we'll start with the top one here, just give us a little anchor. Don't tighten it down all the way until you got all of the bolts in. Now, if you have somebody helping you here, or available to help you, that would be a good time. Putting this window up and putting it back down is really important not to break this window. So go ahead and take whatever restraints you have on your window off. Make sure you hold it with your hand though, just in case. Well, it's definitely going to fall down if you don't hold it with your hand. Okay, Now, you want to lower it carefully onto the regulator. You can see where it goes. The regulator has two little feet that help hold the window up. So get it on those feet. And then you can see on the inside here, and once you got on those feet, you can see where the bolts go. Let me move it around a bit. You can see, like, once I get the window down, just like that, then you can start threading the bolts in. So, go ahead and do that. Before we go ahead and finish doing the rest of the connection, what we want to do is test it and make sure it's actually working. So get your door panel again and connect up. You don't have to connect everything, just make sure your window switch is connected so you can at least test whether it's working or not. All right, as you can see here, I have just connected the window switch, and now we're going to test it. Very good. The auto up and down feature works, and it seems to have no difficulty going up and down. Very nice. All right, so now we can just go ahead and complete the process. Go ahead and disconnect your door again because you still have to get that vapor barrier back on. All right, at this point we need to put the vapor barrier back on, so let's grab it. And remember how things went. These two wires here went through this hole so it can connect through the door. Otherwise it's going to be stuck behind the barrier. So those are ready to be connected. There's this little cut right here. That's what this is for right there. So go ahead and just retrace the trail of where the sticky rubber goes. And it looks like a piece of the rubber had fallen off, but it's sticky, so we'll just stick it back on there. And make sure you press it all down nice and tight. This vapor barrier helps seal out moisture from the outside, and also reduces wind noise, so it's very important. And don't forget, we had this little tab here holding in our shield a little bit, so just use a screwdriver, pull that little tab out, put this over the hole there, push the tab back in, and that just kind of helps keep it in place a little bit. So now we want to connect our door panel, and the first thing we want to do is connect our window switch and mirror switch, these switches that go to the door panel. And next we'll stick this door handle through our hole. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so grab our door panel, and then just take these wires and plug them back in the way they came. Sometimes it's helpful to take a picture just on your phone, just so you can remember exactly how they went. So we got these two things connected up. Test the window again. Window works fine. Now we want to put this door handle back through our door handle hole here. So just kind of wiggle it in there through the hole. There we go. Once you've gotten that, just go ahead and set the door back on top of the window frame, just like it's supposed to be. Make sure you get your door lock in the proper hole. Just like so. And then you can press your door handle back where it belongs. Now we can put our corner pieces back in. They just snap into place like so. And then don't forget this side one here. Just snaps in. So now we want to do the rest of the bolts that hold the door in. Next to the door handle, beneath the armrest, and then the speaker. Also, almost forgot, don't forget to just go around the edges of the door, making sure to snap in all the snaps that hold it down. So, just like so, go around, knock them in, just like that. And now we can put the bolts back in. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the speaker back into its place. And so just, it's all the same no matter which way you put it, but you might want to put it in like this first. So just connect the speaker, and make sure it goes in the right way, and then just flip it around so the wire's still on the bottom. Just make it easier for you. And then put it on that little latch I showed you earlier, stick it on like that, and then we can screw down the bolts. And then we can put our cover back on. Just place it where it belongs and just tap it in place. Make sure all the snaps hit in. So let's do this screw first. Screw it in like so. And then the two screws behind the door handle here. And then don't forget your panel. It goes right in here. Just put it in there and it snaps in place just like that. Check it again one more time. Has lots of fingerprints on it, but other than that, runs just like new. Hopefully it'll last a while. Alright, well, thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to buy all your parts from Auto Parts Direct to You at APDTY.com. Remember to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/APDTY. And we'll also check out our Google Plus page. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.